me from my throat. My throat's a little...
Okay, we're going to be going live.
Click.
Okay.
That thing. No, click ratio. No, you're live.
Okay.
But when this pops up,
yeah,
that means you're live.
So this is waiting for our stream to go live.
Love you.
Hi, Cheryl. Can you hear me? We've been having all kinds of technical issues tonight. Welcome to the Great Awakening. Welcome to the sunspots, sunstorms, you name it. We seem to be experiencing it. Cheryl, can you hear me? I don't know if you're muted. Okay, so we're gonna go. Oh, she left. So she might have to pop back in. There she comes.
Hello?
Hey, Cheryl, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Oh my gosh. So yeah, we've been having some major technical difficulties due to the beautiful, beautiful power of sunspots and everything that is.
Yep.
So tonight I have my friend Maria joining us. She's going to be on the phone because it seems like the technical issues are surrounding both of us. So I'm glad that you're able to get in. Maria, can you hear her?
Yes, and thank you for inviting me. I'm happy to be here.
Can you hear her, Cheryl?
How about now?
Yes,
So sorry. Technical issues. Yep, I'm here, and thank you for inviting me. My name is Maria, and I'm thrilled. I'm coming in live from New York.
All right. So,
cool. From New York.
Yeah. So we've been experiencing quite the week. We've been having our solar storms galore, flares, you name it. We've been having huge portals within ourselves opening. We are experiencing lots of upheaval. Right now, I'm hearing very loud noises in my ears. So there's another energy blast that is coming through, and it always rings my ears to let me know here it comes. So yeah, we're going to talk tonight a lot about things that were brought up this week, to solutions to what was brought up this week. I know that a lot of things were taken down on my social media when I decided to post about the findings within the shots, findings within the testing. They were testing for water, and they found these particulates that were in the water. It was in the shots. It was in it's everywhere. I don't know. Did I? Hello?
I haven't seen any of those posts come from
It is everywhere.
Nice. Yeah, I know they took it down, and they fact checked me and yelled at me. So yeah, I figured, okay, we'll go at it again and we'll talk about it tonight. So,
I just wanted to add one thing. You'll check your inbox. I did share with you, Christine, that you know what? Just check your inbox, because I just looked at the space weather for April 17th, and it seems to me that we have an X-class solar flare, major sunspot headed our way.
oh yeah, that doesn't surprise me a bit,
Yes.
because I feel it before, when I just feel them, and I'm like, oh, here comes something, and so it has been constant, where we our bodies are being brought to a whole nother level. And
the sun flare, they said, was coming from the back of the sun, and now it's facing
I
Today,
just
just
feel the
us, we're
same
doing like the full
inundation
warm
of
Nice.
ascension symptoms going on. I mean,
Yes.
I know myself and other people have told me that how they're feeling. With myself, I noticed extra buzzing in the ears, like a tinnitus, which I normally have in a low grade, but it's an elevated pitch
Yes.
at the past 5 days.
Yes.
It's really gotten very, very loud since yesterday, and a new tone, or the
Yes.
tonality is a little higher in the pitch.
Yes.
Headachy across the frontal lobe sinus area,
Yes.
but also in the back behind the from ear to ear on the back of the
Like the
cranial
brainstem?
area. Yeah, the
Yeah.
brainstem.
They've been
Yeah,
working a
almost
lot
like
there too.
yeah.
They've been working on the eyes too.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
Yeah.
there's been lots of patterns and different pressures, and you can feel the light definitely changing. And even when we look at things, we see things in a different, perhaps, hue, or like there'll be times where, like even when we went to Get Go just right before this, and I was opening up to get Fiji water, because Fiji water, by the way, has silica in it. Didn't know that. There's a nice little plug for Fiji. Yeah. And of course, silica is a very important mineral to have in your body, which helps with this ascension process because we are crystals. And so is silica. So we bring in that silica into our bodies, and it helps tune our bodies to that higher frequency. I notice that when I drink the pure water like that from the natural spring I go to, or through Fiji, or there's even the kind of like Brady gets the wakayaya. It's from Hawaii, and that's really kind of real high frequency water, as I've felt within myself. But yeah, even then, I opened up the door to get the water, and I felt like I was in 3 different places at once. I felt like I was being spun around, like I'm in this world, in a couple other worlds, which I know I am, but now we're getting more to the point where we're aware of it. And that's what that feeling is, kind of like, whoa, I'm not here, but I'm here. And it is, we're in so many different dimensions, and we're becoming so aware of it. And we're feeling what we're feeling in those other dimensions now, too. We're stepping into that higher knowledge.
Yeah, absolutely. I will also agree with you, and I feel that we can be on 2 different soul journeys at the same time.
Oh yes, there's multiple.
Multiple, and we are now just coming to the realization on a larger scale. Whereas certain people knew this all along, but I think now the vibration has lifted up into the collective consciousness, and now more people are now resonating and receiving this information.
Yes, and it is. It's just the more the energy comes in, the more that people begin to wake up, and that's when they decided to wake up. Like we decided to wake up about a decade ago or so. I mean, really on a hardcore level, where it took our lives and flipped it upside down and totally removed everything from our lives. And then we keep having this experience where it's like, okay, I know who I am. No, you don't. Rip. And it just takes everything that we ever thought we were and said, oh, silly one. You're so hopeful and wishful. But no, here comes another dark night of the soul kind of activity, and we're just going to wipe everything from your plate again. So
True.
I've just given up trying to put myself in a box and describe who I am or what I am. The go by
we
any.
We can't do that. We can't do that.
Oh yeah, it's impossible for me to do that now, because anytime I try to, well, I am a life coach, spiritual guide, blah blah blah, it just goes. No.
Ooh.
No, we all are. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And
we're
so
much more. We're that and much more.
yeah, and so they're like, stop, identifying with that,
Yeah.
and just be you. And so,
That's right.
Giving ourselves that permission just to be us.
And whatever us is constantly fluid and changing. It's dynamic. And that's the beauty of ascension.
Yes.
Because some days we feel like we're ascending, and other days we feel like we're a little stagnant. But the stagnant is because we need to self-examine, perhaps. And then when we ascend, we have that 30,000-foot view of where we were and where we came from. And then it's all good. So I always say it's all right if you feel like you're not moving, because you're just resting for your next journey.
Yeah. And like Cheryl and I were talking about the other week, that it's kind of like an ascension, but it also an ascension, because we're rising, we're taking off the layers of all the crap, because we're already this. And so even ascension has been flopped around so many times. I even have an ascension healing on my Facebook. And like, it's more of an ascension, because you realize everything
Totally.
is in you, and you're just peeling back the layers. We're not going anywhere. We're not going up to higher frequency. We already are that frequency. Deep down inside, this is who we are. We're just uncovering our frequency and realizing we are this frequency. We're even like, we're always trying to go somewhere. No. It's all
go
about
within.
it's all here. And we're just realizing, we're trying to get to somewhere, always trying to go somewhere. Oh, I gotta scrub my chakras, or I gotta do this, or I gotta do that. No, you don't.
It's all inside.
The more simplistic it is, and you just face yourself and love yourself, all that crap comes up to look at and go, oh, that's how I judged myself, or that's how I allowed another person's judgment of me, or their judgment they placed on me. This is exactly where it is. You peel that off, and then there's your higher frequency shining through. It's just like we're like the dirt analogy, where we're these beautiful little seeds underneath that dirt, and we're popping through now, and the sun is hitting us. We're like, ooh, this feels awesome. And it's reminding us who we are. We grow into this beautiful flower, and all it took was us looking at ourselves in the dirt, and not being afraid to look at ourselves in this. And we gotta be, the whole truth movement, the whole, bringing things to light is good. Yeah, because we gotta know what we're up against. We gotta know what society has placed upon us. So it's good to be knowledgeable about that. But to stay in that knowledge and not move with that knowledge and flow with that knowledge, so that we can actually navigate and feel like, ooh, that this agency pushed a lot of things on us this year and the last year.
Yep.
And
Amen.
And what did it feel like when they did that? Well, it didn't feel good. Well, of course it didn't feel good, because it was stifling who you are. It was putting a diaper on your face, and it was a scare tactic, and it was a way to keep us from talking to people. It was kind of like they're just testing the waters to see, okay, let's see how far we can take this, and we'll just make up some bullshit and allow it all to happen. And
you think they were testing the waters literally?
Oh, they were. As that could take us into the whole huge next subject. It's just, but how did it make us feel? And when we feel trapped, when we don't feel good of what's going on, we have that intuition. We know deep down inside, hey, this doesn't feel right. Something.
But
Something
Yeah,
doesn't.
I agree. I
feel
agree with you. And I also think I have another take on it. I also think they did it on purpose to do a collective, you know, make all of us collectively feel the fear. And when the collective is in fear, then they've put us down yet another notch.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. It's a control mechanism.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they when they when on the TV or radio or whatever the case may be, they're telling you what to see and feel. So that's when it was very important for us, even though we felt trapped with the isolation. I used that to my advantage. Because I would listen to this, Fauci or people up there talking with Trump, and Trump's like looking at him like, something. What are you looking? He's just like looking at him like crying, like looking at him like, and I'm like, I'm watching his mannerisms and watching him, and I'm like, he knows what's up. And I said, but he's not saying anything. He's letting everybody play out this BS
Script. Yep.
so that people would see it. And
it's the discernment. It's the level of discernment that I think all of us had or needed to have while we were watching that all play out, because Trump knew from the beginning. Yeah. And he was just watching everybody fall into their foxhole and see who's on whose side, drawing the line.
Yeah, and that's even to the point where that's 3D stuff, sides, and even in 4D sides, and so that's where we gotta rise up even higher, or actually not rise up. Chris, you need to remember who we are, because then we see both sides. And when we see both sides, we can become balanced within that and not have to say, I need to fight for this or I need to fight for that. No, we just need to be that and choose what we choose to have in our little reality.
Stand in your own sovereignty.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's what it is. We're standing in our sovereignty, because even the fight word kind of like, because that's still playing out the 3D game, where we could just go, we're going to choose not to do this because I chose not to get the Jabberdew. I chose not to wear a diaper. I chose not to socially distance. I chose not to do all of these things. And, stepping into my sovereign power and saying no. And my kids, it was beautiful to watch them too evolve through all this and to stand in their power, especially when the families coming at us. They're like, no, we're good, thanks. And not to say no and start arguing, but they just said, no, thank you. And I was so immensely proud of that, because they could have gotten it. I mean, sometimes my family, they really tried to stir that and really get me going, and I had to step away because I knew exactly what they were trying to do. I'm like, oh no, I don't want to fight about this. This is ridiculous. I'm not fighting. I'm choosing. And my choice is my choice. Your choice is your choice. And to honor everybody's choices in this, honor everybody's journey in this. Even today.
That's the important thing. To honor the journey, because that's why we're here on Earth. This is the university of all universities.
Oh yeah, because we gotta learn as souls to, hey, everybody has their own path. And it was like I was telling you, Maria, that a beautiful person that I love dearly, but he went out and chose to do the protocol for everything. And so I was sending my other friend something that he was interested in, which was talking about what's in the Jabberdews. So I sent it to him, but then I also sent it to this other my other friend. And like I was saying to Maria, that I kind of force jammed it down his throat where he wasn't ready to hear it. even though he loves me and he says, oh, no, 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 I would never feel that way. You know, I love you and I would never feel that way. Just tell me what's going on. I want to know. And I said, well, I wanted to come out and apologize because I did um, say to him, blah, blah, blah. Here's some articles about what's in the Jabberoo, and bam! You know, and it was kind of like, oh, shit. And my nose blew up from it because I was not in alignment with who I am. I was in alignment with my ego, trying to go in there and, oh my gosh, I have this information. I want you to be safe, and I want you to be okay, and I don't want you to die, and I don't want you to. And I'm like, oh, that was ego.
We've all done that. I've done that. I did it for the longest time, thinking that I was doing a service to my friends and family, and I really didn't understand that what I was doing was giving them information that they were not yet ready or might not ever be ready in their own mission to receive.
Yeah.
But because of my love for them, I just said, oh, I have to tell them. But it's really not my job to enlighten people that don't want to be enlightened at that very moment. It's like calling someone and saying, it's time to wake up. You're going to be late for work. Well, guess what? They might be late for work, and it's not up to me.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And you know, because I've been talking to the boys, oh no, you gotta let everybody have their own journeys. And then the minute that came out, boom. Because I went into, like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, it's in the water. The snake venom is in the fucking water. And
yep.
I can't, holy shit. And I started spinning for a minute, and they're like, whoa, I had to grab myself and just say, whoa. And even Brady, like I said to you last week, Brady had to come over and just give me a hug and like ground me. He's a wonderful grounder. And yeah, he had to come in.
That's great. That's wonderful.
Yeah, he's my grounder. And so he grounded me right back to who I was. And I had to say, oh my gosh, of course there's, you know, there's iodine, there's hydrogen peroxide, there's all these ways that you could take that snake venom and neutralize it.
The thing is, though,
could you tell me how?
It's not water. They can get you through the air. They can get you through anything they want, so you can't be concerned about where it's at. All
that
the
would
time.
be interesting, really, because
Maria, hold on. Cheryl's talking. Okay, go ahead,
sorry.
Cheryl. You guys can't hear each other?
You were spinning out.
Uh-huh.
I can hear her.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's like a little bit delay. So basically what I'm saying is you're spinning out because, yes, it's in the water, but you can't think about it that way. It could be in anything. It could be in air. They have it, the trail, you know what I'm saying, where they're putting it in across the sky, the chemtrails.
Yeah.
So it's everywhere. They're poisonous from everywhere. You can't, like, freak out. We've known this forever.
Yeah.
You just got to keep detoxing and go with that.
Yeah.
And you already know it.
Yeah, I do.
You just found some facts and went, wow.
Yeah, I did. I was just like, what? And I started, you know, like spinning. And it was just like, oh shit. But then, yeah, Brady goes, Mom, you need a hug. I was like, yes, I do. And then from that moment on, I was like, okay, this is what we're going to do. And we do, you know, we're going to make our own bread. We know where everything is coming. We're going to make our own this. We're going to make our own that. But then I came across something today from the beautiful Mike Adams. And I put this on my Facebook and I stirred a big pot. And it was the chlorine dioxide. And it was the MMS, which is the miracle mineral solution. And so I was led to buy it about 2.5, 3 years ago. And it's just sat there. I'm like, am I supposed to? No, not yet. So, okay. So I did use it. It just sat there. And then something today, which was how this ingredient, which is the chlorine dioxide, or I'll have to bring it up. I put it on my Facebook. Let me get that up real quick. But so what I did was I put it on my Facebook. Yeah, let me read it to you because I just laugh every time. Um, it's the sodium chloride, and I mix it with the citric acid that was provided. And I don't know, I'll put it up here close so people can see it online. There we go. So I got those two. And I put a little post on there.
Nice.
And I said, I purchased this years ago. I was led to wait to take it. Now I know why. I'm beyond grateful for yet again following my intuition. It says look up on videos on YouTube for chlorine dioxide solution. So it's CDS, or they call it MMS too, for miracle mineral solution. That was the original. And it breaks, and then this is what Mike Adams said: breaks down venoms in water. It also destroys every microbe or pathogen that it is in contact with, basically. And this other person who is a scientist also told him that in a recent interview that the CDS, which is the solution, breaks up blood clots by flooding the blood with oxygen. So I decided to
Imagine that, right?
yes, so I decided to put that on lovely Facebook to stir people's consciousness. I got a lot of mixed reviews. I got people saying, "Oh my God, this is awesome." One person said, "Yeah, I bought it too," and was led not to use it as well. I got people saying, "Well, that's kind of abrasive, and there's more natural ways to do it," which there are, yes, but if you got the venom that's wreaking havoc on your body,
Mm-hmm.
I would use this for a little bit, right, and then go back to the natural stuff because
Absolutely.
because
Right?
instead of taking the medicine like because even like ivermectin and hydrochloroquine is good for this as well, but I don't want to do the pharmaceutical route. And this guy was trying to say, well, this is pharmaceutical. Like, yeah, it's not. So I don't feel that it is. But where I said, well, I told him that.
It's a more of a chem route. I don't know if it's like compound pharmacy route.
Right, because the pharmacy drugs also have venom in it. Not necessarily ivermectin and hydrochloroquine, but staying away from that, I make my natural stuff. So instead of ivermectin, I use neem oil. That kills parasites.
Where does that come from?
Neem trees. And so you can get that online and find it in natural food stores, neem oil. And that is you can also use it for like dandruff on your hair, for skin conditions as well. And then he mentioned actually clove. I said, well, yeah, clove is very good too. That's a very good anti-parasitic and antibacterial. It helps out with that. And so there are natural ways of doing it too, And NAC, um, which they're trying to keep us from buying. There are places that will sell it. Amazon, which we try to stay away from anyway,
I found
refuse
a
to sell it.
Drugstore, and they sell the NAC, and I bought several of them. So try your local mom and pop, Patriot owned mom and pop drugstore.
Yeah.
Because they generally have it if you ask them. In the height of our pandemic, the last outbreak, Christmas week, they had, but you had to ask them for it. They kept it behind the pharmacy.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah.
And then, of course, glutathione. That was always a big helper with us. We use that. We have the patches for that.
It. What else do you take?
Glutathione, the NAC. Let me get up the list that I also put that up there. So
far I take those two also. But what about vitamin D3?
Yes, vitamin D3 is also good. So here's what they found, which was awesome because it wasn't just Mike and those guys, but it was also people in Italy, scientists in France. So this is like a combined effort of people So it says compounds that protect against snake venom poisoning: zinc, hydrochloroquine, ivermectin, quercetin, and you take that usually with zinc, which is very good. NAC, vitamin C, and enough vitamin C to saturate you so that you also almost have loose stools. They even said copper, which was there's another doctor, and his name was Dr. Braun. And you could probably look this up too on YouTube, maybe, or just trying to scream this from the rooftops to every organization that he could, because he was actually like a director of like what do I call it, like emergency. He deals with mass shootings and mass bombs and like bioterror and stuff like that. So he's trying to get a hold of the FBI, and because he works with these people, and they just said, "Yeah, I received it, thank you." And that's all they said. So it's one big cover up. And then so Benedict Clay, corticosteroids, and the benazidine, I think it's called, is like you inhale it. It's like a steroid that you inhale. It helps open up your airways. And he was talking about how the snake venom is also in remdesivir, which was the one drug that was only approved for babies on up in the hospital when you go in for COVID. So they're actually killing people.
I heard that.
And Dr. Artis, Dr. Artis, he lost his father-in-law to that. They murdered him. They murdered, I'm sure of it, many other people that we know.
Yes, absolutely. And Dr. Artis, didn't he say something about how the snake venom or the COVID was attacking the nicotine receptors in the brain?
Yes, and so if you smoke or you like dip or you have nicotine patches or the gum, you're actually coating those receptors with nicotine, right? And so these peptides of the snake venom can't adhere to it because it's actually coated with this. And the snake venom goes into your mitochondria and wreaks havoc there. It goes into your bloodstream and it takes it to the organs where there are so many different variations of this venom that it was taking people out left and right with diabetes. It was attacking the pancreas. And it was attacking people with heart conditions. That's why you're seeing, especially even these young kids that are dropping over on the field. They're running around getting their heart all boom, 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 bam, and it just takes them out. And you see all these little kids getting myocarditis, which they don't get. And the CDC and all these other FDA, everyone's all in it. Oh, kids and heart attacks. I'm like, that's not supposed to happen. So they're trying to cover themselves up, And so this whole entire thing that I put on Facebook really did have quite the mixed, because people are sending me government stuff, and I'm like, I'm not gonna believe that if you paid me.
Well, fact checked or on Facebook, or if you were shut down or put in jail or covered up the story, if they covered the story up, then you know that you're flying over the radar, you're flying over the target, and that you're on course.
Yes.
Because that's what they do. They just cover you up and they cover up the story if you're really, really on the subject and on the truth. And that's basically what you are. You're covering your the topic that you were speaking about is pretty much right over the target.
Yes. That's when when you're shadow banned, when you're all these other things. It's kind of like, okay, we're part of this club of people who aren't afraid to talk about truth, and we're not afraid. And
no, our mask is off, and we're talking.
Yeah, and the more of us do it, the more that they have to scramble around and try to shut us up. But then, we're just talking about it. just in a conversation like tonight. Not trying to be truthers or anything like that, because they can have that role. No, we're just having a nice discussion on things that we've seen.
Exactly.
You know, and there's, we talk about the snake venom because it was like kind of brought into our awareness. You know, um, but there's, like Cheryl was saying, they're spraying shit on us since God knows when with all the chemtrails. They've polluted every bit of this land. Um, but there's always ways to remedy it. I watch.
Well,
Go ahead.
it, oh, sorry, it's population control because there's too many of us and we're actually taking away. They only need a certain amount of us to work to supply, you know what I mean? Support the system.
Yeah,
There's too much drain on it, so they're trying to get rid of us.
yeah, and they're taking the weak ones out, and they know what
Right.
concentration to put in. Um, they know what to do. They know they've had our DNA for quite some time. Every time they, took a test, they, gathered people's DNA, and um, that's how they actually found out it was snake venom. Is that they took the sequences from the codons and matched it up to a crate snake and to a cobra, were the main two. And then the viper, there's some viper ones in there, and then there's some snail ones. And they've been putting them in pharmaceuticals because there was tests done with that. There's all these articles that are on the internet, and people just have to look it up. And
the snail one is the far more poisonous one.
Yes.
They said.
Yes. So, everybody's getting different concentrations of different, and they're all synthetic too. Because of course they're not going to sit there and try and get 100 million snakes out. Okay, just hold still. No, they take that sequence and they go to the lab and then they duplicate that where they're able to mass produce it because it's synthetic. All you need is a genetic makeup of it, and they've been doing this for years.
Yeah, and Chrissy, to your point, I think that they've been doing it for so long that they even have our genetic makeup from the first moment we're born. They run blood work. They run blood work. They take our samples and they send it to some lab far away place, and they have our gene sequencing. They know our gene code.
Yes.
And it's the scariest thing because they can manipulate specific things, bioweapons. They can manipulate to go after certain types of people from different areas that have similar gene codes, certain areas of the world, and that's what I was told that they did. So
they did. They definitely do.
The other scary thing is that I was told that it went into water and pharmaceuticals and some food, but then someone said, well, what if it went into the bottled water? Most people drink bottled water. So now I'm hoping that somebody can develop a way that we can test water. Because until we can, what do we do?
Well, until they can, we can take these nutritional steps. Because nutrition is everything. It's what we put it. Because water is essential. So what we've been doing all along is the NAC, the vitamin C, the glutathione, the Sermon, which is another pharmaceutical, but I get my shimic acid from pine needle tea, the hydrochloroquine, which I use the peels from grapefruit and lemons. And I soak it and I under hot water and let it seep, and then I pour um, the mixture off, and I put it in ice cubes and put it in my tea every morning. So we've been given, the nutritional basis of how to take care of ourselves while all this shit is going on. It even helps with the shedding. It helps with all that because they are um, we're putting these higher frequencies into our body, which of course is helping our frequency anyway. And then when we're
Absolutely.
around others who are broadcasting this frequency out, because we can see it, we can feel it. It's
Essential oils too, like the
yeah,
diffused oil. That helped me a lot when I had it.
yeah. There's
I put it
another
in
one.
my
Yeah.
So
let it through
interesting.
the air with my
This is
robe.
all so interesting.
Your diffuser.
Yes,
Okay.
I have thieves oil. I just keep putting it in my diffuser, especially when I had it, and it
Yeah.
helped so much.
Yeah, and I put
So
in
you've got the clove and the other.
yeah, and that's what another kind of armor I have, and I've been using that. And then I also before I had the armor, um, I had iodide and hydrogen peroxide, food grade, and I just put it in my diffuser and just let it go. And
Oh, and the diffuser. That's a
yes,
brilliant
because
idea.
see, the what they even talked about too was people by the ocean, right? They're breathing in that water, that salt water. That salt water has iodine in it, and it's like in that real misty kind of. It's in the air because it's washing and smashing on the shores and stuff, and there's iodine in that water from the sea kelp.
You're right. I walk on the beach every day,
Yeah.
even in the winter.
Yeah,
And I think that alongside the beach, there's a boardwalk. And next to the boardwalk, one side is the Long Island Sound, which is like the Atlantic Ocean.
Uh-huh.
And then the other side, we have pine trees.
See?
The best of both worlds.
You do.
You.
And that's it's all nature. I always go in and I always go, okay, I'm going for my pine needles and I putting it basically saying it out to the universe, please allow me to find pine needles. And I go walking through and there's some pine needles. Pick them. I don't even have to take them off the trees because your intention is everything. You think it, you be it. Because look at all the shit that we thought about before when we were not aware of that and what we brought to us. So
Right.
if we start choosing what we're thinking about and choosing what we're doing and choosing how we're going to, okay, we're just going to nourish our bodies with so much love from the frequencies of the earth, whether it comes in the form of iodine, whether it comes in the form of essential oils, whether it comes in the form of NAC, whether it comes in the form of this or that. You know, whatever we put into our body, the higher frequencies are better because then, yeah, we're going to come across crap that's in our water because it's going to be there. We're going to come across, you know, we're mindful of that. And there's things that we could do to help um, with that frequency. It kind of like neutralizes it.
Yeah.
And so, you know, there's things that we could do. We could, like, even down to what laundry detergent we use. There's a frequency to what, you know, what we put on our face, you know, what we wash our hair with, and what we wash our dishes with. Because I was thinking, oh my God, you know, I don't have a filter for my faucet because that's city water. I'm like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. And then I'm like, wait a minute, Chris. You could put higher frequency. You wash with plant based dish soap. That's very high frequency. You could put even higher frequency by putting hydrogen peroxide in that dish soap. You can also intentionalize. This is going to be higher frequency dish soap. You can speak love into it, peace, health. Our words, just like they make so much difference. Even Dr. Emoto, he did that water study where he spoke into the water and he spoke beautiful, loving things to really crappy things. And you could see the different crystals of the water and the different structure of the water. There's things that we can even do with magnets to structure water. And I was listening to my Lazarus Initiative yesterday, and oh my gosh, there's a New Earth University that they were talking about, and I signed up for it a while ago, but I haven't looked at it yet. And it's kind of like that was the sign, go on there, because that's actually going to be down in Mexico too, where she'll be doing classes and such at Sasha's healing retreat center. And like I was telling you, Maria, I saw that what he displayed, and I just cried because it's been inside of my head for so long. I've had dreams about it, even to the pine cone shaped things on top of this building, on top of the buildings, and there was actually to gather energy from the air, like Tesla did, right? And then there's one that went into the ground and it was like gathering the energy from there and kind of like making it all light up. So if a storm, like a hurricane, would blow through, there's like this biodome around it. It'll go like around this structured place.
Oh my heavens!
Earthquakes wouldn't be able to occur on the magnitude that they do because you're finally connecting everything that's supposed to be connected, from the air, from the fire elements, the air, the earth, all of it, the water. You're connecting nature as it should be. And they're building these structures. Yeah, the test is like but that's made out of working with
Copper.
the real aspects of gathering it from the air.
Wow, almost as if taking the place and actually it being a better solution.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Almost how they use a metal rod to act as a grounding of
the
lightning.
Rod.
It goes right into the earth and away from the house when the earth produces lightning. So if it strikes the roof of the house won't catch fire. It'll send the grounding of the electricity of the lightning it'll reflect it to the grounding mechanism that goes right into the earth. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
This is similar but better.
Yeah. And they're even going to take, this is amazing, the materials of what's in Mexico where they're building it at. It's a beautiful lagoon. Oh my gosh, it's just gorgeous. So they're taking all the material of the earth right there and not using the cement that, the Sabbatean shitbags use. But no, the real artistry and making like cementish kind of brick and you can mold it into all these different shapes and such like that, and that can be taken anywhere. We're going to have the blueprints to take this and move it to anywhere. If we want to go to Antarctica, we can go there with this. If we want to go to Australia or the North Pole or anywhere we want to go, we can have these blueprints and being, with like-minded people. And how amazing would that be?
Pretty darn amazing. Things are really happening for the better.
And
they're moving faster than ever before.
They are, truly. And I know that all these new technologies that have been, they're not new. They've been there forever. Remembering the new the technologies we have. And we're actually bringing them back in. And it's like the life pods to nutrition that you can put under your tongue that will basically redo your whole body. I mean, there's so many things that people are just like, F it, we're going to make our own societies. Yep. We're going to make our own medical system. They're not even a system anymore. No more systems.
Isn't that what
just,
the Native Americans were all about?
yeah,
And the forces that at bay, the higher forces took them down, took them out because they had the truth.
yes,
They had everything from God, and they knew how to cure things, just like our ancestors from wherever all of us have come from.
exactly.
My ancestors came from Greece, and I had a grandmother that was a healer, and she was a midwife, and she was using the cups to release energies on
Yes.
people, women, men from the village back in the early 1900s.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So
That's what we need to bring
we were-
back.
We've been asleep all along, and now we're just waking up and remembering that we've known about all these things for the longest time.
Yes. Yes, we have. And we're all healers. You know, we're all beautiful healers that have been here for eons and just on Earth for eons, but let alone other star systems. And what's coming?
Yeah, way back to Lemuria and Atlantis
Yeah.
and stuff, all that technologies.
Even past that.
Popping back up.
Yeah.
You know.
And that's what the technologies of the life pods and the just of using crystals to restructure a whole land. You know,
Yep.
you program those beautiful crystals because that's what they're here for. They're here to help us assist. Because they're such a high frequency, you're able to program them with high frequencies, just like we are walking crystals.
We are. Our crystalline body would be
Yes,
re-energized, I
I
feel,
did
in the
both.
coming days with all of the many solar storms that, even though they do take out our electronics terribly sometimes,
Yes.
but it's a need. We're in need of that. We need that energy from the solar storms. We do need it for our bodies, for our soul,
Yes.
and to help us just to peel away those layers of our pineal gland, and then to go looking and searching within, because all the answers are within.
Always has been. And you go outwards. I remember first journey out here, spiritual. I was thirsty, so thirsty, and just looking for everything and going through everything. And you know, there's still things that pop up. I'm like, whoa, that's awesome. And then it helps you remember. It does. You know, and not to write off books or anything like that, because it helps you remember. But then it also helps you discern. Like, ooh, is this good for me? Is this not good for me? Does this fit? Is this a fit for me? Because there'll be some waters that yes I can drink it. Some nope, don't touch it. There'll be some fruit that I can have, and others I can't. There'll be some days that will require blueberries, and another day no. And I have to follow what my body is trying to tell me at all times.
Yeah.
And when I do, it's like smooth sailing. When I don't,
Yeah,
and I think I know
totally.
something, that's when I get in my way of myself. I'm like, oh, there we go. And I have to reset it. Basically, okay. But that's the forgiveness part of you, you know? And so even that goes down to the toxins and everything that we have. Is this, say, is this mascara good for me? No. Okay. Then you need to find another one that is. And that's when you muscle test. And you ask yes
I was about to ask
no.
you about this muscle test. Can you explain that a little bit for
so
me?
there's different ways. You can stand with your hands on your hips, and you could ask like, "Do I like the color blue?" And it'll go, you know, yes. Yes was a yes for me was forward, and a no for me was backwards, and just standing there straight up was basically an indifferent. It's kind of like a body pendulum.
Okay.
And so, but then there's also, you can do your fingers. Like my yes was really tight, like I couldn't break my fingers. And a no is a quick boom. And so I even did something for, it was so cute. Ben's friend was over yesterday, and we're kind of just bringing a little bit of this magic to light, and we're talking about muscle testing, and she's like, "Oh shit, oh my gosh," because she's watching me muscle test things, and she's like, oh my gosh," and I, had her rub her hands together and feel the energy between them, and her and I would feel the energy between us. She was, "Oh my god," and then she could feel me touching her heart without touching her heart.
Yeah,
She could
that's
feel
so
me
cool.
going up and down her spine without actually physically going up and down her spine, all with energy, right? And so it's just, and she, she's 17, so it's cute. It's just watching this, like, oh my gosh. And I go, this is just a snippet of the magic that you are. So yeah, practice that with certain things that you like, and your body knows that you like, or that are good for you, like like bananas are good for me, but they're not good for my mom.
Yeah.
It's there's what's good for you and what your body agrees with. Like, is almond milk good, or is oat milk better, or is this better, or is that better, or is this protein powder good for me or not? So I'm always in the grocery store and listening. Okay, what is going to be good for me? And then there's other days where it's like your body craves something or wants something, and you got to go with that because your body needs extra salt.
Totally.
Because even with the salt, uh, you could choose, of course, which salt to put in, but you're an electric being. Of course, it's going to need salt.
Of course.
And that's just
Yeah.
the magic of everything.
I mean, I love it. I think that it's a universal practice that all of us forgot to do because of the veil, because of the sleep that we were all put into. And we need to start remembering to listen to ourselves, and ourselves. Within ourselves, there is the discernment, which is deep in the soul and in our pineal gland. And once we know right or left or right, we know which way is right for us, correct for us.
Right. Because what's correct for me may not be correct for you, or for Cheryl, for Brady, for Ben, for anybody out there. What is good for you is good for you. And that's the bottom line. Like, I can say all these suggestions, and we can say, take glutathione and blah, 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 blah. But maybe your body's like, I'm good with glutathione. Especially a younger kid, they produce it on higher amounts. And so melatonin as well is also very good because that coats it as well.
I do take that glutathione, and all throughout the pandemic, all of what you've said, with D3K2.
Yeah.
Some people that might have a blood disorder or on certain medications for heart might not be able to take the K.
Yes.
But that's all right as well. I mean, everyone's different, like we were just talking about, and what it is that works best for us, because what works best for me might not work best for you, but as long as we're protecting ourselves from what's out there, because we don't know how to test the water. Yeah. They said watch the water. Even Kristen W. said watch the water. Yeah. We didn't know what they meant by watch the water. We were thinking it was a tidal wave of sorts.
Right, because even Q, there's a Q post, watch the water. And here, it was just a title of, because it was bringing up what we needed to see. It was bringing up, and everybody's taught, everyone's like, holy shit. Yeah, it's everything. Yeah. Everything they use is sourced in this, and they found the peptides with it. They found it. And so, that's the thing. It's just bringing awareness to how deep this thing goes.
Absolutely. It goes deep. It's deeper than any of us even suspected. It's alarming. And it's so deep and it's so alarming that I think the people that are maybe going into panic, they're choosing to ignore because it saves them from going into panic mode. Because truly, people that are not in the know, people that don't have a science degree or pedigree or whatnot. They don't know what to do about it, and we need to educate, because even if it is, in their eyes, something that is uncontrollable, it is controllable. We have a choice, and all along we've always had a choice, starting with our discernment, but also if our discernment is missing, then at least we know that we can turn off the television and go in silence, because when we go in silence, we go within.
Yeah, and we can actually really connect into what is good for us
Mm-hmm.
and what steps need to be taken. And I know that there's been this wave
Giant
of,
wave
of
happening.
amazing people waking up. And it's not just, the patriots that watch, that went out and stood with the truckers, or the wave of truckers that went across, which is great too, because we're all here on our different missions. We're all here
Yeah.
to bring awareness and to bring to light things so that it lives through us. And so there's so many different ways that being in this awakening state, and the more that people awaken, the more that they see what's out there and they realize, oh my gosh, I've been controlled this way or told what to do my whole freaking life. Yeah, it's a big codependent ring, and so we've all been duped in some way. All of us on this earth has been duped in some way, shape, or form, and so we're all waking up to this. And I know that there's so many different movements out there. The medical movement, where there's a lot of people out there talking on stages with how to bring health back to yourself and how to see where the lies and deception were there, and how to step out of that, and how to be your own doctor, how to be your own health guru. But they're forming a different kind of medical outlook. Then there's also the whole political scene that's being disrupted and stirred around and blown around, which has to happen too. And people are realizing, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to run for Congress or as this or that. And people are actually throwing their hat in the ring, like, what? I'm sick of this shit. And so then there's that. Then there's the financial world, which is all crazed up too. And that with, going out and buying silver and gold, or, crypto, or whatever the case may be. There's so many different aspects of that. And then there's, a patriot movement, was just bringing back ways of how to be, how to support local, U.S. bought products, use U.S. bought stuff, and how to stand up to things and just say no. I'm not going to do this. Just like with the rest of it, it's all a choice to stand up and say no. This is what I choose to do. This is what I'm going to focus on and do. This is my choice. I'm not going to get a jab or do, or I'm not going to do, I'm going to go buy some silver, or I'm going to buy these products that were made in the USA. Um, these are all different ways that we start taking back our own choice, and not necessarily fight, because that word just has a different frequency to it, but more,
Yes.
I am going to choose how I'm going to be sovereign in this moment. And if it's by taking laundry soap and seeing, holy shit, look at all the freaking toxins in it, I'm not going to use it. I'm going to go find something else that doesn't have these toxins in it.
And we have a choice now.
We do.
We have a choice.
And we go and we look for those things.
That's
because there's a lot of places that are stepping up saying, hey, I want to put my hat in that arena because I have natural products. Or making your own. Or, because I know for some things, I'm still going to continue to make my own. But at least we have a choice of somewhere that we can take it and buy, like online or in a store or something like that isn't the bigger stores that are trying to, because they stayed open during the pandemic, where all these little businesses were brought down and crushed.
True.
My
Very
business went away because of that. Because they scared everybody to where they didn't want to come out in public. And they were too scared to be in front of people.
And that was the vibration that they intended on so that they can control the masses. They closed
Exactly.
down religious churches. They closed down religion. They closed down mom and pops. They closed down everybody but the big box conglomerates. They pretty much ran the show.
Right.
Along with bars, along with topless places. I mean, this is what our government allowed. And we have to be cognizant of what they allowed and what they did not allow. And then go within and find your discernment, or my discernment tells me that there's something far greater, far bigger at hand here. But your whole point about, finding a product that is natural, finding a product that does not have toxins in it, finding a product that you trust, and if you don't, until then, find out how to make it yourself, because we all have a choice.
Yes.
Recently, I just want to say, I have found through friends, Patriot friends, that there is a family-owned alternative that all of us know about, and they're Patriots.
Yes. Yes.
They manufacture items that we buy and we run out of all the time. But furthermore, I just want to say there are a couple big box stores, which I shall remain nameless here, but we all know who they are. And there's some products also that came out as green products, family-owned products.
Yeah, you told me about that.
They sold out to the big guys, and these big guys have bigger guys on their board of directors.
It's amazing. I never thought that they would sell out. There's not only just, what was it? It was cosmetics. It was hands, lotions, and creams, and
toothpaste.
What else did you say? It was like hand soap, dishwasher soap, laundry detergent. I mean, ones that say that they're natural, they aren't. So that's where we got to use our discernment. We gotta choose. Okay, with our, our hands like this, we have to muscle test what's going to be good for us, because we find out, oh my gosh, if they went to the big box stores and they're selling this there, then they sold out.
Absolutely. And you know what? The big box stores have their hands all tied. Okay? It takes money away from the Patriots and from our American country. It takes money away because all of these products, they feed outside of our borders.
Right.
And we are depleting our own economy because we're feeding into those big box stores, the giant conglomerates, these manufacturers that are hiding toxins inside of our products.
I know.
That's the most nefarious thing I've ever imagined. I never thought in a million years that I would be saying, oh, that brand that I was, familiar with from maybe age 5 is now on my list of never again.
Right.
And it's not only foods, but it's places of adventure and playlands and parks, and it's just we need to revamp this whole idea of what is acceptable. And the whole thing is that we stopped making products here in America a very long time ago. Why? Because we were price conscious. But truly, if we were price conscious, then we would have thought about, number one, keeping the gold and the dollar backed by gold.
Yeah.
But we didn't.
They
we
sold
let
us
that go
out.
in
Nixon
72.
sold us out.
And then we let go of our factories, and they left our borders and went across different oceans, to say the least. And so we lost manufacturing, and we lost the ability to control the safety mechanism of our products because it left the United States. And that is, to me, the scariest of all proposals, that we have no control over what we are consuming and we are the largest nation of consumers. So
Right,
we're out of control.
Yeah.
We're spinning vast. We are a vast land, and we're spinning very quickly out of control. The only thing I can say is that we need to grow our economy from within. We need to grow our discernment from within.
Right.
So it's almost as if our country has been almost toxic in a way. Our country has
very
been
toxic. Very toxic.
yeah, very toxic. And I feel like our country has been a lack of discernment because we've had the veil over our eyes for a very long time.
Yeah.
And my point is that we need to start looking within, shopping within our own country. And even if it means to rebuild our local economy with our mom and pops, our green markets, or even a manufacturer, if you could find one, there's a couple that will manufacture right to us here in America. And when you find one, that is to me the piece of the puzzle where we need to go.
Right. And then even grow our own food. Like, Cheryl, did you go out and get the fruits and the veggies that you were talking about? You were gonna grow on your. Was you gonna grow something?
Oh, my microgreen.
Yeah. How'd that go?
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Unfortunately, there's nothing local for me, so I had to go to the big Amazon. But it's coming in tomorrow, so I'm going to start growing.
Okay. Yeah, I did my sprouts, and it turned out pretty good. Yeah, I love it. So yeah, there's all these ways that we could just start taking things back into our own control, and but yeah, there's it's already 8:34, so I guess we should. I could talk for 6 million years on all of this, as always, because there's always something to talk about. But I want to thank you guys for joining me tonight. It was very, very awesome to have this discussion, to be around like-minded people, but to be able to even be not around like-minded people, but to be in your own power is what it's about. My battery's about ready to kick it. So, with that being said, we did mention a place an action that is taking place. It's called Patriot Switch, and I'll have a link for it in the description. But it's a movement that's happening that we're just taking our power back. So it's pretty cool, and there's going to be more coming out with all of that, and there's going to be more coming out with finances, with buying gold and silver, to homeschooling your kids and easier ways of doing it, to you name it, we can dream of it here. Making our own communities. There's so many different ways that we are taking our sovereignty back. So that is hopeful, and actually not hopeful. It's more, it's happening. It's happening. And
one of the things seeing though, make sure you have a bug out bag just in case you gotta leave your area.
How exciting! I'm so happy that you invited me to come on. And
hold on, Maria.
So much. I'm sorry I had technical glitches and issues.
Maria, hold on 1 second. Cheryl's talking.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, that's okay.
Just get your bug out bag.
A step further to saying that, yeah, your bug out bag in case you got to get up out of the area with a little bit of food in it and what essential supplies. That's what Spirit keeps telling me. Make sure you can move.
And have because there's all this bullshit with the whole with things that the fertilizers not being delivered to the crops and stuff. Did you know that pee is a fertilizer? Just found that out today by Dr. Group.
Wasted.
Yeah, but you could just piss in a mason jar and use it to fertilize everything. And there's actually talk of urotherapy to heal your body. Urotherapy to heal your skin conditions. You bathe in or you take it and you rub it on yourself. And then you could take a shower or not take a shower, whatever. Or you can sit in a bath and just pour a little bit of that in there, and yeah. And so I haven't got the nerve up to do that yet.
I have to tell you something.
Yeah.
I can't hear Cheryl on the other side, so I don't know if she's talking. Forgive me if I'm speaking when you're talking. I can't hear.
Yeah, there's a
everybody.
delay, so I think that's what's going on. But go ahead, Maria.
Yeah, my dad was in World War II, and he mentioned that one of the first aid things they were taught was that if they were in a situation where they were stung, bitten by maybe a snake or some insect, or they were stung by a bee, or if they were swimming and got stung by a man of war, which is common in June, July down in the southern Atlantic, that urine is one of the go-tos to help kill or remove the toxins.
He has to neutralize them.
From, yeah, unbelievable. When I heard that, I was like, oh, you're kidding me.
Yep. PP it is. So that just blows my mind. And, I saw it before your urotherapy. I'm like, ugh. I don't know if I can wrap my head around that. But then, yeah, when my mom was little, she got stung by a jellyfish, and she was told to pee in the water because it will help with the toxin that was released.
Absolutely. I heard that.
Yeah.
Yep.
And to pee, like when you, there's some other, Brady, I don't know if you were saying it. It was to pee on somebody when there's something some kind of toxin or some kind of something going on that you pee on it. Yeah. And so there's something out there. So go out there and research it, guys. That's what we talk about this stuff. To go out there and research it yourselves. There's so many things out there. There's so many things that we talked about tonight. Go and do the research. Now, DuckDuckGo has been compromised, just like Google. So there's been a lot of things that have been scrapped from that, which I was sad to see that DuckDuckGo was, succumbed to the big buyout.
Yeah.
So I'll have to think of other search engines now that will have this information.
I think we have one that's Pandex or Pandex. Okay. I'll have to look it up. I'll research it and I'll bring it to you.
Yeah, because it's something that we could do yet again. We find out, hey, this is kind of compromised, just like anything else, just like products to food to water. Everything's been compromised, guys. So we just have to bring it back to us and decide how are we going to go. What are we going to do moving forward? How are we going to take back our sovereignty? And this is what it's all about. We talk about raw stuff here. We talk about anything goes. And that's what we do. So thank you, guys. Thank you for a lively, beautiful conversation. I can't believe we're talking about the stuff we're talking about, but it's great. We're getting it out there. And thank you both for coming tonight. Thank you, Brady, for hopping on, for assisting. Thank you, Ben, for for fixing the computer glitches. And just thank you. And I love you guys. Thank you.
Love you.
Love you too, Chrissy. And I just had a blast.
Cheryl. Thanks.
And
Bye-bye.
Look forward to joining you again sometime in the near future.
That'd be great.
Thanks so much. And I'll try to bring some more good information on with me, and we'll go from there. Okay. Thank you so much.
Awesome.
Have a great holiday evening, and I'll talk to you soon.